Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And the other day, Jon Stewart tore apart a Republican on a variety of issues such as guns, drag shows, and more. So essentially, Jon Stewart sat down with State Senator Nathan Dahm from Oklahoma. Oh, and by the way, Nathan claims to be Oklahoma's most conservative state senator. Now, good old Nathan over here has a variety of really terrible beliefs, such as that there should be no restriction on firearms and that drag shows are somehow more dangerous for kids than guns. And of course, those beliefs are totally illogical, and when they were put to the test by Jon Stewart, it did not go well for him. Genuinely, it's one of the best political takedowns I've ever seen. Just take a look at the clip.
Because certain of their tools that they're using would be infringements upon the people's right to keep and bear arms, upon their constitutional rights, upon due process, upon other things.
That registering is an infringement?
Yes.
Okay. Is voting a right?
It's a right for citizens, yes.
Do you have to do anything to do it?
Yes.
What do you have to do?
It depends on the state.
What do you have to do?
Sometimes you have to be at least 18 years old.
What do you have to do?
And in some places you have to have a government-issued ID.
What do you have to? You have to
be on the voter rolls.
Register. You have to register. So you have to register to a right. Is that an infringement?
Does the right to voting say shall not be infringed?
Oh, so this is just a semantic argument now.
No, it's not.
You believe voting rights can be infringed because it doesn't say specifically shall not be infringed.
Is it an infringement upon a 17-year-old's right to vote, since they don't have that right to vote?
No.
Oh, it's not an infringement on them?
No,
okay.
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because you're the one making the argument, not me. I'm saying even rights have responsibilities, and that within those responsibilities are responsibilities and order, otherwise it's chaotic. I'll go you one further. You want to ban drag show readings to children.
To minors, yes.
Why?
Why?
What are you protecting?
Why can we prohibit children from voting, those under 18 from voting?
Why are you banning?
That?
Is that free speech? Are you infringing on that performer's free speech?
They can continue to exercise their free speech, just not in front of a child.
Why?
Because the government does have a responsibility to protect.
I'm sorry?
The government does have a responsibility in certain instances to
What's
protect
the
children.
leading cause of death amongst children in this country? And I'm going to give you a hint. It's not drag show readings to children.
Correct, yes.
So what is it?
I'm presuming you're going to say it's firearms.
No, I'm not going to say it like it's an opinion. That's what it is. It's firearms. More than cancer, more than car accidents. And what you're telling me is you don't mind infringing free speech to protect children from this amorphous thing that you think of. But when it comes to children that have died, you don't give a flying fuck to stop that because that shall not be infringed. That is hypocrisy at its highest order.
I mean, wow, that was so embarrassing for State Senator Nathan Dahm. There are just some people that Republicans shouldn't argue with because every single time they get embarrassed. Those people are, but not limited to, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, and of course, Jon Stewart. I genuinely don't think I've ever seen a Republican challenge any of those people and be successful in their attacks. But like, clearly that guy is insane, right? Like, he legitimately thinks that registering your firearm, something that is incredibly basic to do and a very basic safety measure as well, is infringing on people's rights. These gun nut weird Republicans stand in the way of any progress regarding firearms. And I love how Jon Stewart pointed out to that guy that you have to register to vote, which he supports, but you shouldn't have to register your firearm. Both are constitutional rights, and both you should have to register for. And I think the best point of all was when Jon Stewart pointed out the Republican hypocrisy surrounding drag shows. You know, Senator Dahm said that yes, the government does have a responsibility to protect children. So Jon Stewart says, well, okay, then why are you trying to ban drag shows? Because guns are the #1 cause of death for children in the United States. You know what's not a leading cause of death for children in the United States? Drag shows. See, the Republicans have their priorities totally mixed up. They want to protect the kids by going after drag shows, but they're not a leading cause of death for kids. They're not a leading cause of injury. They're not a leading cause of harm. They're not anything in that category. But with guns, the #1 leading cause of death for kids in the United States, it's too much to register. So yeah, essentially all of that state senator's points were awful and they got picked apart by Jon Stewart. And of course he got a lot of backlash for this interview because he totally embarrassed himself and embarrassed the Republican Party as a whole. And so he responded to Jon Stewart and the interview on Twitter by saying, I enjoyed my conversation with Jon Stewart so much that I'd like to continue it in a live and unedited format. Maybe we could get Joe Rogan to have us on his podcast together. How about it, at Jon Stewart? And he replied to a bunch of people under this tweet, but I don't want to subject you folks to more of this guy's garbage. And he was saying that the editing tactics were deceptive and that his views weren't properly represented. But like, really? Is that the best you got? Like, for example, in the clip I just showed you folks, is there any editing there that purposefully makes him look bad? Obviously not. His points make him look bad, and the fact that he was called out on those points. But finally, folks, it's important to remember that these views that this guy talked about in this interview are popular among the Republican Party. They think that gun regulation makes us less safe. You know, countries in Europe and around the world have gun regulation, and they have significantly less mass shootings than we do. I wonder if there might be a correlation there. Like, they genuinely believe that the federal government requiring you to register your firearm is government overreach, but when they try to ban kids from going to drag show readings, that's perfectly fine. Republicans are the biggest proponents of big government when it supports them. When it's banning drag shows, they love it. When it's taking away the right to an abortion, they love it. But when it's trying to prevent mass shootings or making sure that all Americans have food on their table tonight, nope, that's too much government. That's way too big. This interview just further proves that the Republican Party is the most hypocritical group of people in the United States. Regardless, folks, that's gonna wrap up the video for today. This interview with Jon Stewart was absolutely amazing. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And once again, folks, whether you agree with me or you disagree with me, have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon.